Joining us from Doha is Luciano Zaccara, Middle East and Gulf political analyst. Luciano, thank you for your time. We'll come on to the displacement situation for hundreds of thousands of Palestinians shortly. But in terms of trying to find some sort of lasting peace, can we still call what's happening in Gaza a ceasefire? There have been violations, of course, by Israel. We've just heard about that, and accusations on both sides.
Well, actually, when we see the pictures and we see the figures, it's very difficult to think about how this ceasefire can bring Palestinian people to normal life. We know that since the very beginning of the war until now, almost 95% of the Gaza population has been displaced at least once, and most of them have been displaced at least more than once. And now they are returning to places that they don't exist anymore. So the ceasefire is not the end. The ceasefire that has been violated many times, as you just said, it's not guaranteeing that the situation will evolve favorable for the people in Gaza. I mean, coming back to a place that does not exist, where the life is impossible, is not just a collateral damage. It has been a strategy used by Israel to displace people permanently and to make them to leave these places so they can vacate the whole area for the annexation of the Gaza Strip, which is, I believe, the final goal of Israel. So the ceasefire is not ending with this. It's not ending with the suffering of the Palestinian people unless there is a final settlement of this, and unless there is a reconstruction, a serious reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. That means that people will remain there and they will not be forced to be displaced again.
Yeah, and to get to that point, Palestinian people, well, the ceasefire has to hold for them. They have to get through phase 1 before they can even begin to think about phases 2 and 3, which seem a long way off right now, but that would be a permanent end to the fighting, the reconstruction, as you mentioned, of Gaza, and much further down the line, a possible Palestinian state.
Exactly. Talking about reconstruction, I mean, since the very beginning of the war, if you remember, we have been talking about the post-war plan that Netanyahu never presented to Biden before Trump reached power. And then the only post-war plans that we heard were coming from the Israeli and American side, that they were not doable, and they are still not doable. Moreover, because this ceasefire is still fragile, there are many violations, and there is still no clarity about how it's going to evolve, how the remaining Hamas militants or activists are still armed, who is going to disarm them if the obligation, according to the United Nations resolution, is to disarm them, who is going to be part of this international stabilization force, what kind of task they will be given, who is going to reconstruct all this, who is going to enforce the United Nations Security Council resolution. So there are still many things that they are unresolved, and it's very difficult to move to this second stage, because any little element can derail the whole ceasefire. I mean, so far it holds, but still I wondering why it's still holding, because the ceasefire has been violated many times already.
Luciano, appreciate you joining us on the News Hour. Luciano Zaccara, their Middle East analyst.